The Barbados Slave Code and Obeah trials, when witchcraft laws targeted enslaved Africans. Why was practicing African spirituality punishable by death in colonial Barbados? Barbados, 1688. The British colonial government passed the Slave Code. It was one of the most brutal legal documents in Caribbean history. It defined enslaved Africans as property. It legalized whipping, branding, and mutilation. But buried in the code was a section that made practicing Obeah, African spiritual traditions, punishable by death. Because the colonizers understood something, Obeah wasn't just religion, it was resistance. Obeah practitioners were healers, spiritual leaders, community organizers. They used herbs, rituals, and ancestral knowledge to treat illness, protect against harm, and maintain cultural identity. But to the British, they were witches, and they were dangerous. Because enslaved people who believed in spiritual power were harder to control, harder to break. The trials were swift. If you were accused of practicing Obeah, you were tortured until you confessed. Then you were executed, often by burning, sometimes by hanging. Your body was displayed as a warning, and the accusations didn't require evidence. A charm found in your cabin, a rumor that you healed someone, a suspicion that you were too confident, too defiant, too unwilling to submit. Between 1688 and the abolition of slavery in 1834, hundreds of enslaved Africans in Barbados were executed for Obeah. Their names were never recorded. Their trials were never documented. Because they weren't considered people. They were considered property that had become too dangerous to keep alive. And here's what makes this even more insidious. After slavery ended, the Obeah laws stayed on the books. In Barbados, practicing Obeah was illegal until 1998. In Jamaica, it's still illegal today. The witch hunt never ended. It just changed names. Do you think this was about witchcraft, or was it always about control? Comment yes or no. Follow, like, and share for more stories about how witch trials were used to destroy resistance.